Right, what's up guys? So today you join me from a B road on the Isle of Wight. It's a beautiful, beautiful day for this. And you join me from the driver's seat of a 1993 Toyota MR2. Now this is a Rev 2 version with the 2-litre GT 158 brake horsepower engine. It's a manual transmission with rear wheel drive mid-engine setup on these cars. It has a pipe across air filter. It has these Bride Lomax XL seats, which I'm a big fan of. It has the auto pista, I think I said that right, rear wing, which makes a huge difference to these cars, makes it look a lot better. It's got the Rev 3 rear lights on it, clear front lights, 40mm lowering springs, and Rotor GTR 7.5 by 9-inch rear wheels on it. Now straight away jumping in this car, the biggest thing I have to relay is the way that you're situated in the car. You have this huge sort of transmission tunnel which you can use as an armrest, which is a big shout out for me. I like my armrests, so having that as a sort of place to put your arm while you're shifting through the gears is a big plus in my books. You're sort of surrounding the driver in this car with everything that you would want. You know, all the buttons are very easy to get to, and you're sort of sunk down in the car in these Bride Lomaxes. Gives a better driving feel, I think. So you're able to be sort of sat lower in the car. You get a better driving feel with your butt being closer to the tarmac. First thing I've got to point out is this throw of gear stick. Oh, it's just exquisite. You've got not the closest ratios, but you have a very good throw on all of the gears. It's very tight together, and it's very notchy, very easy to get into the gears as well. Clutch, very soft. There isn't too much of a bite point, but I think that's quite a good thing in this car. It means you can able to, you know, throw it through the gears a little bit better, I think. The accelerator, soft, you know, there's a soft feel to it, and again with the brakes halfway down they do come in as they should. Steering, big thing about the steering though, where you've got quite a light front end, you know, the mid-engine setup, I think the weight's really behind you. The steering is a little bit stiffer than I was expecting, but in a slightly good way. It makes you want to work a bit harder to get the car around the turns, and you get a better driving feel from it, I feel. Now the engine being behind you means that you obviously have all the sound coming from behind you as well, but it gives a funny setup to how you perceive the weight in the car. So you put it into a corner and you sort of pull the front in, but the weight is behind you, so you do have the, not necessarily the overtaking the rear end feel, but you are very quickly reminded that the weight is sort of behind you. Now proportionally, I think these are well set up from the factory, so if you're going to modify it at any point, it's just going to make the driving feel and enhancements a little bit better. The actual feel from that rear end though, obviously being rear wheel drive as well, you try not to overcook it. That's the biggest thing. You don't really want to be coming out of a corner full on, because I think the rear end could overtake you quite quickly in this car. Not like, you know, an MX-5 where it feels a little bit better weighted, but this one, although it doesn't feel weighted at the back, you do have a sense that there is more weight behind you. Now this being the T-top means that you do have this fantastic glass roof setup, which I'm, you know, a huge fan of. It gives a lot of light into the cabin. You have a lot of windows in these cars as well, I feel. You have the, you know, windscreen and the two side windows, but you also have pocket rear windows just at the side there, and then this sort of convexed rear window as well to go with it all. That, including the glass roof, gives quite a nice driving experience. You're able to look right round you, and there is a lot of vision around the car. Now the cyclists are out the way, I'm going to try and flip around, go back down that beautiful bit of road, because it has to be done in this awesome car. Now modifications that have been done, including the 40mm lowering springs, keep in with the sort of comfort levels of this car. I think these are, you know, a dailyable mid-engined exciting car. Now this being, I'd say in comparison to my MX5, shoot down here, this, you know, let's be honest, this is a huge comparison and a sort of market, I suppose, and sort of era the MX5 came out in. And today as well, you'll find that these are the same sort of price as an MX5 as well. So you do have the option of buying one of these, you know, the 2 litre ones, or an MX5 of the same sort of era, same sort of age. So guys, found a beautiful location with a bit of wind. Let's have a quick look round this MR2. Now, huge fan of the red on this sort of mid-engine looking layout of car. The bigger wing on the back, the auto pista wing, big fan of that. It completely changes the proportions of the car, I think. You do have really some cool catching features, obviously air vents and stuff going down here into the engine, with the sort of air vents at the top coming round the back. Bigger wing again, making a big difference to the sort of style and look of the car. The rotors, obviously staggered fitment, make it look, you know, wider at the back, smaller at the front with the 7.5 with the 9Js, lowered 40mm, so it's sat just as you want it to be, not too low, not too wide as well, you know, no silly stretch tyres and stuff. Coming inside the car, again, just a 1993 looking Toyota inside. You have a lot of stuff lifted from Lexuses that I can see, but these seats, if you're a larger gentleman and you want some very nice bucket seats for your car, these are the ones to buy. And from the driver's seat, you have this big center console coming down, making the, you know, gear shifts and that so much nicer with the sort of notchiness of the gearbox. Dish steering wheel coming out to sort of put you more set back and lower in the car with these Bride Lomax seats. Everything just sort of wraps around you in this car though, which I really like. Sort of comes right round to enhance your driving experience. I do think that if you're going to buy an MX5, you're getting yourself into that 50-50 weight distribution and all this sort of stuff. This, I think you've got a completely different driving experience. You have a bit more power from, you know, standard, but you do have more weight in these. Obviously that T-top, being as good as it is quite heavy. Obviously all that glass is going to be heavy. Tip it into a corner though. Very rewarding car. Awesome setup from that mid-engine as well, as we come back out onto this lovely bit of road, and we have loads of people in front of us. Still try and enjoy this car. But cycling through the gears, it's very compliant. You are not sort of caught out too much with this car, I don't think, which is one of the biggest things for me. Mid-engine is great, mid-engine is awesome, but you do not want to catch yourself out if you're trying to give it the full beans everywhere. Modifications wise, I think these are quite easy to modify. You do see a lot of, you know, enthusiast groups with these cars, and I think it's something you can get into quite cheaply. Price point, biggest thing is price point on these. I genuinely think these are a bargain. £1,000, 1,500 quid, maybe £2 for a good one. You can get yourself into one of these very cheaply, and you can go and enjoy it straight away because of the setup of the car is so good. It just puts a huge smile on your face straight away. Very compliant, and I do really like the way these cars are set up. You know, even if you don't put wheels and sort of lower it a little bit. Wee, mate, you just nearly went into a bus then, I forgot that on camera. But yeah, very compliant. The steering's very compliant. Gearbox is nice and notchy, exactly what you want to feel from a mid-engined, not supercar, but it's, you know, it's got that finesse, and I can't quite put my hand on it. It's got the finesse of rear-wheel drive, mid-engined excitement, but none of the, you know, money drawbacks, the big money. I've driven a lot of cars that are mid-engined and, you know, rear-wheel drive. You've got this same sort of low-slung setup, but you are constantly reminded of the, you know, expense that comes with that setup. In this car though, absolutely not. You do not get that. 2 litre, you know, you're gonna find that it's not as good on petrol as your 1 litre, you know, Lupo say, but it's still very good on fuel. I think you're getting around 25 mpg in these. And insurance, I was speaking to the owner, Matt, and he was saying at 19 he didn't pay any more than everyone else was paying for their hot hatches. So, you know, obviously insurance again is relatable to where you are, how bad you've been in your past and all that sort of business, but I think you can get into one of these relatively cheaply. That means that for me, this is a huge bargain, and I can't pressure people enough to go and find those bargain cars, and this I think is one of them. Now you're going to be set back with, you know, maybe a little bit of rust, but just find a good one. Find a good one that meets your criteria, meets your budget, and you're winning. You really are. You're not going to have terrible reliability issues with these because it's a Toyota. The 2 years that Matt has had this car, I think the only thing he's had is the battery's gone dead, and it just needed a new battery. That was all it was. So I think the reliability is there, and if you're willing to delve yourself into an MR2, get a good one. This I think is a very good one. It's very nice to sort of be in, and it's a nice place to be. That's the biggest thing for me. A nice place to be. Very compliant car, exciting. Unfortunately, we did have a lot of tourists, I'm gonna say, on that little drive, but I must thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Tell me what you think of these new one takes. What shall I change? What more do you want to know about these cars? Head over to fydapparel.com, cop yourself some FYD merch. I can't thank Matt enough for letting me take his car out, and I'll see you all on the next one take. Cheers guys.